今やゴジラの通過した後は炎の海と化し、見渡せばいつは終わ
What's doing, guys? Back with a fresh final review. Today we're going to be looking at the X Plus figures, Deforeal Dr. Serizawa, Toho Maniacs Dr. Serizawa, and the other Oxygen Destroyers and Dr. Serizawa figures that we have here in the fresh final collection. Bam! That's what's up. All right, so the two figures that we're going to be talking about specifically are these two right here. I brought up, like I said, just all the other extras and stuff, just for comparison purposes. And assuming that this is all the Dr. Serizawas that I believe that exist. Maybe this is like a cast or something. Maybe I'm missing something. If I'm missing something, please just put it in the comment section for those other collectors that are out there wondering. But this is everything that I have in my collection, okay? Bam. All right, so Deforeal Dr. Serizawa came out sometime in 2022. I don't remember exactly when. I went with the standard version, which is the black and white version. Comes clearly black and white. The Rick exclusive, I want to say, was the colored version. I went with the black and white standard version because this is what he looked like in the film. The colored version looked cool and all that good stuff. But this was the way to go. The figure comes with an air hose, okay, packed on the back of him, and an awesome Oxygen Destroyer, which is basically the same sculpt as the other Oxygen Destroyers that we have here that I'll talk about momentarily. But the Oxygen Destroyer sits nicely in his hands as he's holding it. And the figure itself also has a image of Godzilla 54, which, if you ask me, yeah, I feel like that's one of the images of Godzilla when he was above water, but is it actually from when Godzilla was underwater? I don't remember. I'd have to watch the film just to clarify. But regardless, I kind of feel like that's supposed to be the reflection of what Dr. Serizawa sees. You know, better than just having like the screen with his mask just painted gray or something, you know, so it gives the figure a little extra depth, so to speak. But like, why not just had a image of Dr. Serizawa on the inside? But you know, it's like the glass underneath the water, depending on the lighting, it's going to bounce and look like a mirror anyways. I get the attempt. Not a total, you know, bust. It's cool. I've seen other collectors, you know, they've changed theirs out or, you know, modified it however and whatnot, so that's pretty cool. No argument there. Okay. Overall, the figure sculpted beautiful, very nicely done. Paint job is perfect for what it be, or should be. What the heck am I saying? It sounds like a dingbat. And really, no arguments. It's a great figure. Now we need a Ogata, diver number 5, right? He's number 5. It's 5, right? I have to double check. Boop, boop. We got diver number 2. Diver number 2. All right. So Toho Maniacs, Dr. Serizawa. This was announced not long after this went up for pre-order. So by the time I had pre-ordered this, pre-orders closed, and I was like, and then they announced this. I was like, damn. I was like, probably would have just got this only. But honestly, like, I'm glad I got both. Toho Maniacs line. I think this was the first one in the Toho Maniacs line that was released. And, you know, really set the X Plus collectors, you know, excitement levels up. You know, we're getting a new line. And a new line that's with figures that we haven't seen from X Plus in a scale like this ever. You know, and again, like in my other review, we got the Matango figure. Awesome. You know, so to be getting an affordable, smaller line in this fashion with the different characters, really, really cool. So again, like Bandai figures, he comes with a hang tag. The Oxygen Destroyer, much smaller scale to go and scale with the figure itself. Came in a small little baggie you'd have to take off and just put it in his hands, you know, and he just holds it just like every other figure you see here. Now, what's nice about this figure that they made, you know, differentiated from the Deforeal is Dr. Serizawa's face is painted on the inside of his sculpted and painted on the inside of his mask. It's not a decal or anything. It's actually sculpted on the inside there, which really gives this figure a lot of depth. A lot of depth, because he's even got the eye patch on there, and it looks just like Dr. Serizawa. The likeliness of the character that played him, I can't remember right now. Sue me. But all in all, the figure itself, sculpted beautifully. It does just look like the diver suit that he wore in the film. Again, just like the Deforeal comes with an air hose. So if you try to put these underwater in your bathtub, make sure you have this hanging out so he can breathe. Okay. And again, like the hang tag, it's got the basic information for Dr. Serizawa and all the basic information that you would see on the back of an X Plus box. Boring stuff, blah, blah, blah. Don't play with in the bathtub, and don't drop the oxygen destroyer into your local water system in the city watershed or whatever, because you know what happens. All right. So over here we have the 2 toy graph divers. Boom. This is the glowy one that came with Godzilla. And this is the standard, basically Dr. Serizawa that came with another Godzilla figure. So these came out, back in the mid-2000s, 2007, 8, I think it was, whenever I did that review. You have to check that one out. And then over here we have the mini Rick Extra that came with the 25-centimeter Godzilla 54. I sold that figure. I kept this. So this is a cool piece. Another, clearly Dr. Serizawa with the Oxygen the Destroyer. And then over here, now just for comparison size purposes, it's going to be a little hard to tell, so you have to look at the photos. We have all 4 X Plus Oxygen Destroyers that have been released by X Plus. To my knowledge, I believe these are the only 4, and I have all 4, which is pretty cool. Not to brag. I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but it's like, cool, I have all 4. So this one came with the gigantic burning Godzilla. This one sits in this rock base with the Oxygen Destroyer. Clearly it's been sitting on the water for a long time, and it's used and it's deteriorating. Then over here we have the Oxygen Destroyer that came with the 30-centimeter burning Godzilla 95. So this is what it looks like in the opening title credits of Godzilla vs. Destroyer. The center device is just cracked open, which looks really cool. And then this one here came with the 30-centimeter Wonderfest Godzilla 54 color version. So this one is that, and this one, basically these two kind of are identical. This one has a little bit of a grayer black and white paint job, while this one has a natural color paint job. So this is what it would look like if it was sitting in Dr. Serizawa's office before use. Okay, so yeah, so there's all your Dr. Serizawas and Oxygen Destroyers that I have collected in my collection. But back to these 2 figures, definitely 10 out of 10 for each. I really dig the Toho Maniacs line. Want to pick up the other ones that have come out, minus the Matango that I already have. So those are on my hunt list, want list. At some point, just whenever I decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to go after them, and we'll get them. Boom. But yeah, though, that's all I got for these figures. Thank you for watching. Remember, people, buy vinyl, fresh vinyl. Bam!